round 5 of the 2004 Extreme 600 series, and we're already repeating countries. We're coming back to Spain. This time we're going to Barcelona. Although that's just like Dorna, really, isn't it? The Spaniards, all they ever seem to want to do is race in Spain. I think I worked out that the 2013 MotoGP season had something like 4 rounds on tracks in Spain, which is fucking ridiculous, man. Now this track, as you can see, it's a nighttime track. I think there is weather in this game, but whether or not it shows up in the extreme races, I'm not sure. I know it definitely shows up in Grand Prix, but on the street circuits, we might be nice and dry for the season, which I don't know how I feel about. I kind of want to show off some of the weather. Hopefully I can perform better than the AI in the rain, although it was the absolute nightmare that I had in Italy last week. Maybe it's for the best if I have some nice clear conditions to race in. If we bump a wall on a qualifying lap. Just trying to figure out how many laps this race should be. Looks like it's going to be a 5-lapper because the track takes a little bit longer than a minute to get around. So that's that. We cross the finish line to take pole position as usual. Oops. Totally forgot about the chicanes there. Luckily injuries aren't in this game. So options, take the laps down to 5, and then race. Nishikawa qualifying second, Oda championship rival. I have to beat him, otherwise he's going to disappear in points. He qualified third. Then you got all the back markers down here. Farino, the guy that helped me have my second crash last week in Italy. He's a whole minute off the pace in qualifying. Although I doubt that he'll do that badly in the race because they never do. So away we go. I've got the whole shot. I mean, this season really is a little bit like a Supercross season, as we're coming back to the same areas to run a slightly different track some weeks. That's some food for thought, really, isn't it? My goal for this week's race, as you might have guessed, coming off of last week in Italy, is to hold it together. Just keep it out of the barriers, keep my bike away from everyone else's bike, and, you know, we shouldn't have too much of an issue. And it looks like I'm really not going to have an issue because I'm already pulling a gap on Nishikawa. So that's nice and comforting, you know? Maybe I can finally get that 3-win streak that I managed to break with my absolute nightmare that I had racing in Italy. So we complete a lap, no troubles so far, although it did take until lap 4 to start having troubles in Italy. So if I can keep the Northern Irish away, we'll be nice and healthy. Stock up healthily on points. Oda will still be leading. You know, he'll still have a huge margin. He's probably in 3rd place right now. If Nishikawa... Oh, shit. I can't ride 55. There's Oda. Well, he was in 3rd place. Now he's in 2nd. Well, I didn't lose too much time coming off that fall. Unlike the one in Italy, which cost me dearly. Holding it together, apparently not my strong point. I'm much better at being fast over 1 lap. I'm not very consistent. I'm consistently inconsistent in this series so far. Although luckily the AI seem to be pretty slow around this track in Barcelona, so I can just dibby it up the inside of Nishikawa there. The very mean chicane along the front straight, and then heading up the hill. I'm back in the lead, back to pulling a gap. Just need to watch out for the exits of corners so I don't run the bike too wide. I am exploring those pavements a little bit too much, potentially. I just need to remember to be careful. Otherwise, I'm going to throw it away. And I can't afford to throw it away too many times because there's a set amount of rounds in a season. And, you know, whenever I'm not scoring points, Oda is. I've pulled my gap out again, though. Fortunately for me, and it looks like, you know, on that lap I managed to keep out of anything even remotely hairy. Oh shit, although I haven't managed to do the same thing on this lap. I need to stop talking about how well I'm riding, because every time I say I'm doing good, I immediately drop the bike. And now they're more than 2 seconds up the road. Which is going to be... It's not a hell of a gap to close down. I'm much faster than the AI around this track. Although, I only seem to be able to keep the bike on 2 wheels for 2 laps at a time. Which is fortunate, because there's a little bit less than 2 laps to the finish. So I should be able to hold it until the checkered flag. But really, a poor showing from me over these last 2 rounds. At least this time I'm going to score decent points, you know, and make up for my shitty riding a little bit with some position. But last week, pretty much inexcusable. I only have 1 more round in this recording session to try and, you know, pull myself back. I'll see if I can set myself up with a winning streak. You know, if I can finish first here, and then finish first in round 6, wherever that is, I can't quite remember. If I can put myself on a 2 winning streak, match what I managed to get from Andalusia and Riviera, that would be Spain 1 and France, then I'll be in a good position to come back for the next recording session, the next 6 rounds, and show that I'm not actually as poor of a rider as I look. Although it has made the championship interesting. Usually the AI wouldn't... If I'd have managed to keep my bike on 2 wheels, I would have won every round so far. Apart from maybe Tuscany, because Oda was definitely faster around the track. A pretty decent comeback ride. It could have been cleaner, although a first place is a first place. I'll do a little bit of celebration. My feet clipping through the tarmac there. We're only 10 points down on Oda now, instead of a full 25, which I'm happy with. I will take. It's going to end this week from Barcelona. See what I get. A new personal best. An unlocked rider, although it's one of the back markers. Jerez mirrored. I always used to call it Jerez, but I'll talk about that more when I do an actual Grand Prix championship. Another $2,000 dues and 5 points to spend. We'll round off my top speed, and we'll put a little bit more into braking. So next week we're going to the Low Country, the Netherlands, to finish off this recording session before I switch to a bike with no fairings. So, I mean, if I can finish well, I'll have enough money to buy a pretty good bike. So, you know, there's a lot riding on next week.